Hello YouTube. So today we're going to be taking a look at my Vanquish Ultra. I'm going to do a review on it, run some tests. I want to see what this thing's capable of completely stock. Well, with the exception of the wheels. I do have alloy wheels, which I don't think is going to skew the results that much. Maybe 0.1 degree here and there or something like that. As far as electronics go, I'm running the hobbywing 1080. And I'm using RCreviw settings. I'm going to link his video in the description. I'm also using a Holmes Crawlmaster Expert motor, 13 turn. I'm using this still have this $20 servo, which is pretty amazing. It's the Power HD 20 kg servo. It's a little slow, and the torque is probably at the bare minimum. You do not need a BEC, by the way, with this with the hobbywing, with that servo anyway. And then I'm running a 3S 1500 battery, and I have it mounted over here. And some might say that's a mod, you don't have the stock battery tray in, but this is actually an optional location. They've got reliefs cut for the strap in it and everything. I'm not going to call that a mod. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to see, let's check the weight on this thing. Ready to crawl. Grab a scale over here, and let's see where we're at. Okay, right at about 7 pounds. Call it 7 pounds 2 ounces, which isn't bad, considering you have full metal differential housings. That's really not too bad on the weight. Okay, so we'll go right into a speed test. Okay, so speed is probably the least important thing in a rock crawler, but I want to check it anyway. Let me get this thing turned on. There we go. Nice, and I got this Sky RC speed meter. I'm going to give this a try. I got it set for peak speed, miles per hour. Now, due to the speed this thing generates, I got to mount this thing in here good so it doesn't fly out. Alright, that's good. Alright, now I must tell you, if you have any kind of heart condition or anything like that, anything there where too much excitement will cause any kind of medical issue, just go ahead and skip to the results. I'm going to go ahead and send this off now. And that's it. Let's bring it back. Let's see if we can get a reading on this thing. Uh, 5 miles an hour. All right. Well, you know what? That you might say that's slow, but actually for a rock crawler, that's perfectly fine. Even for trailing, that's fine. As long as you can, as long as it goes faster than you can like jog or run. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Now there is one thing I want to check before I move on, and that's I have this motor wired to run in reverse because I had to do it that way because of the way the kit is. Let me see if I'm just curious to see if I run this in reverse, it's actually the motor's going forward. Let me see if it's actually faster like that. I doubt it, because there's no timing advance or anything like that. Let's see if it went faster than the Peak 5. No, same thing. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to check and see at what angle this thing can climb without flipping over. I used skateboard grip tape on that board to get rid of the tire factor. You know what I mean? Just eliminate that from the whole thing. I just want to see what the truck itself can do. I got it set for, where are we at? About 56 degrees. Let's see what we can do. Let's see. Yeah, 56, we're good. Let me move this over a little bit so you can kind of see there. All right, let's move it up to, let's see. Let's go right to, see if we can get it at 60 degrees. 59.8. Come on, a little more. That's good. All right, you're about 60 degrees. Here we go. do 60. This is it dragging on the, let's see. Okay, let's back it off a little bit. Take it down to about, let's see, 59. Yeah, it's about 59 degrees. 58.6 actually. All right, yeah, we get it 58. Let's see if I can get that to 59. All right, let's see. Oh, man. That's going to be it right there. I'm going to call that at 59 degrees. All right. Now, what about, let's see, while it's here, let's see what approach angle is, which would be ridiculous with those bumpers. Is it hitting that? Let's hit the tires on the bumper. Yeah, that's about right. About 62 degrees approach and departure. Let's see where we're at with departure angle. First, a little touchy. Is it hitting that hitch first? Or is it hitting the wheels first? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm going to call it about the same. That's at about 62 degrees. Yeah. Okay. And let me set this up and we'll do some side healing, see where that's at. Okay, let's start out here. It's about 45 degrees. All right, let's see. Oh man, look at that tire right there. See if you can see it. All right, here we go. Nope, oh, nope. It's sitting at that degree, but I can't drive. Well, let me try it one more time. Turn the wheels a little bit. Nah. All right, let's bring it down a little bit. Well, okay. What's it at now? Let's see. About 43? What's that? Yeah, about 43. Let's see if we can do 43. Yeah, we can do 43. If I can get to, let's see if we can get it to 44. 43.5. 43.5. Come on, up. 44. Okay. Let's try 44. Let's see. Oh, that's going to be, it's already wanting to tip over here. Let's see. All right, so 44 degrees. It's going to be the max on the hill. Let me see on the other side if we got the same thing going on here. That's the side the battery's mounted on. Oh! It's going to be a little less on that side. Let's see, let's bring it down a degree. Back here. All right, so driver's side, 41. Let's get that up to 42. Let's see. Let's see, 42. Great use of Revo tires, huh? let's see, 41.7. Yeah, 42. All right, let's see if we'll do 42, leaning towards the driver's side. Yeah, all right, 42. We'll call it 42. All right. Okay, so now we're going to check the articulation on a 20-degree ramp and see where we're at. Not expecting this to be too great with portals, but we'll see. How's that? Is it on the ground? I'll back it off a little bit. Touching a little more. I'm going to call that, let's call that 11 inches, which is not, I don't think that's too bad for portals. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to check turning radius now. What I'm finding is it changes with the different surfaces. I'm just going to I'll use the wood in this trailer and get some kind of a reading here. All right, let's crank the wheel all the way. Looks like 50, look at the camera over there. Yeah, about 51 1/4, something like that. All right, and I want to mention that I left these washers, let me flip this over. I left these steering stop washers in right here. Now you can leave them out. If you leave them out, you're going to get a little bit more turning radius, but I just didn't like the way it was binding. I didn't like the way when you cranked it all the way. It was kind of, I don't know. I just put them back in. It wasn't worth it to me for that little tiny bump, but I just wanted to mention that. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we went through some of the basic specs on the thing, and I want to give you my final thoughts. But first, I want to say that I'm new to crawling. I knew about crawling, but I never really, I don't know. I just didn't see how driving so slow could be fun. But I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It really is a lot of fun. It's relaxing just watching the truck do its thing, the suspension moving, the tires conforming, making it over something that you didn't think you were going to make. It just really is rewarding. That being said, we go through some of the final thoughts. The first thing, let me get this down. But the design of this thing, you can see the bottom of it. It's completely smooth, so it just glides over rocks. The motor is tucked up inside there, but it sits low. Look how low the motor's right there. It sits nice and low for low CG. Look at how, this really isn't that big of a deal, but look at how straight the drive shafts are. You see some of those outrageous drive shaft angles. Not that it really matters that much, but I don't know. It's just one of the little things, that you notice. The portal axles, that's, to me, portal axles, sometimes, when I'm driving this thing, I go, man, I don't know if I could have made that if I didn't have portals. But then on other times, I go, man, I wish I had the extra wheel travel, the extra articulation. So I think portals are maybe a little bit overrated. It just comes down to personal preference on that, which way you want to go. The Pro version of this does not have portals, but it has a transmission with, hardened steel gears, and those would be the two options on it. But if I had to do it all over again, nah, I still would have went with the portals. I still would have went with those. The reliability, I don't even know what to say about reliability. I'll give you an example. I was on my way to go trailing with this thing, and I forgot my toolbox. And I was going to go back and get it because, in case something happened, I thought to myself, well, you know what? This thing doesn't break. So I just left it, and it really doesn't. It's built like a tank. It really is. The value on it, going back to that, yeah, it's pricey, $829, but I'm telling you, like I said, if you're gonna mod the thing, you know, buy one of those other kits and mod it anyway. You're gonna be here, so value, I don't have a problem with it. I kind of wish, I don't have a problem with the price at all. I kind of wish they would have went with, you know, the Pro transmission in here, and maybe bump the price to $8.99 and call it a day. But you know, other than that, you know, that's to me, it's right on with the money. I don't have a problem with the money at all. You know, the dislikes on it, you know, I don't have any. I really can't. I maybe would have liked to see a bleeder screw in the shocks. They are kind of a pain in the butt to get right, and if you don't get them right, they're gonna leak. But other than that, I just, you know, I'd be reaching to try to find some dislikes with this thing. My final conclusion on this, you know, is that, you know, I'm just gonna come right out and say it, that this particular truck, this Vanquish Ultra, you know, is, you know, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, RC cars of all time. You know, and that's, you know, I've had a lot of RC cars in my life, but this thing, I just love this thing. You know, it's 5 out of 5 stars. The quality of it, you know, everything about it. You know, if you ever watch, like, you ever watch Flossie Carter on here, you know, this is it, buy it immediately. that's my recommendation on this truck. All right, guys, well, I'll wrap it up here, and I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next video. Thank you.